have West Ham given the biggest indication at what is going to happen with Flynn Downes this summer? Good morning, you wonderful West Ham fans. I hope you're keeping safe and well. As per usual, my name's Anton, bringing you today's little cheeky early morning update, and that's all about Flynn Downes as he ends his Southampton spell with playoff final success. Now, I started off the show by saying, have West Ham announced what the plans are for Flynn Downes this summer? Well, I think they have kind of given a little indication. I mean, technically what they've said on the website isn't wrong, but they've emphasized it quite a few times. So I'll start by saying the following. Loan Watch, WHUFC.com, Downes ends Saints spell with playoff final success. And then they go on to read the article, and further it says, Flynn Downes completed his season-long loan spell at Southampton in style as the Saints defeated Leeds United 1-0 in the EFL Championship playoff final at Wembley on Sunday. Now, you know what? If you didn't watch it, honestly, it's worth going back and watching. If you want to see the performance that West Ham fans have been always thinking that Flynn Downes is capable of doing, that was the game. That was the game. Now, that's not the one that he has highlighted to Southampton fans, why he is capable of doing what he is doing. He has been turning up week in and week out for Southampton, and they've been deserved given the opportunity to come back to the Premier League. So either way, whatever happens with Flynn Downes, he will be playing Premier League football next year. If you search his name in the internet, if you go onto any social media site and you search for Flynn Downes, all you see is Southampton fans singing his praises. Literally, he is numero uno who they want to sign this summer. And the question could be, will West Ham consider selling him, considering the Lucas Paqueta situation is ongoing, because now he has cemented his place as potentially bringing in some substantial fee for West Ham from his performances he's been given. You're talking could be in and around the £20 million marker. And will West Ham be keen to sell? Who knows? But the indication, I feel like they're subtly putting on the website, he is ending his Saints spell with the playoff success, and they said that he completed his season-long loan spell. Now, he was in outstanding form at Wembley for them. He made more tackles than anyone else on the pitch in the game, with 7, whilst he also had that vital block against Somerville's goal-bound shot early in the second half. And he ended his stay, again, for the third time. The West Ham website wanted to ram that home, that he played 37 appearances, 2 goals, 3 assists to his name, with a playoff medal around his neck. What does it mean? What does it mean for Flynn Downes and West Ham? Now, Julien Lopetegui must, in theory, persuade Flynn Downes to stay at West Ham this summer, after he did himself make an admission, Flynn Downes, over his future. Now, he has spent the full season at the Championship, where they've secured promotion via the playoffs, and he's became an absolute integral part of their squad, Russell Martin's squad. Now, he's had so many starts. His returns have been phenomenal. I'll give you some of those stats in a second, but he did himself admit that he would like to extend his stay with Southampton, which could become a real possibility now that they are and have been promoted. And it probably should be no surprise that he has done that, because he never was given a real opportunity in a West Ham shirt under David Moyes. Now, the midfield area is one of the areas that Lopetegui will be keen to strengthen once he fully gets down to the nitty-gritty, with only Edson Alvarez, the only natural defensive midfielder in the squad. Even though you've got James Ward-Prowse, Tommy Soucek, they're capable of deputising in that role. It's clear that their talents are much of further up the pitch rather than sitting in front of the defence. Would Flynn Downes happy being playing silly second fiddle to Alvarez? Now, we do know he's a massive West Ham fan, but will he be happy doing that? And when you saw the likes of Calvin Phillips not turn up for West Ham, being given opportunities over Flynn Downes, then you do start to question that situation there. And he really could be a perfect fit for what West Ham are looking at. And the loan deal has worked wonders. Do you know what? This one has worked out absolute wonders for West Ham. Absolute wonders for West Ham. Now, let me let me get into his individual performance against Leeds in the playoff final. I don't know if you know this, but he completed 100% of his aerial duels. He was an absolute engine in the middle of the park. He had a grand total of 70 touches throughout the game, and he was heavily involved in Southampton's play, both defensively and from a defensive point of view. He was combative as ever in that game, and he completed a game high total of 16 defensive actions, which comprised of one block, one clearance, one interception, and two recoveries. He is a quality player on the ball. Something I actually didn't realize. I knew he was because you'd heard it from his time when he was at Swansea, but you didn't see a huge amount of that at West Ham. But he's obviously excelled in this role as a central midfielder for Southampton. He broke up the play, and he played 6 passes into the final third for the forwards of Southampton to try and get in and get forward. You know, on top of all of that, he had a pass success rate of 76%, albeit not the best. He did prove that in a game of such importance, he's not afraid to try the unthinkable, which it could be quite pivotal and critical, really, in the Premier League. And in terms of his duels, he was defiant as he was successful, completing 100% of his ground duels at Wembley. Now, what's interesting is it's hard to believe that he was just limited to 753 minutes of Premier League action last season. Not this season, just past the season before 22-23. And he had more increased opportunities in the Europa Conference League. And he hit a roadblock in his development to becoming a Premier League proven player. But that move to Southampton has been a key bit of business and probably been described as, in the Championship, the best signing by the Southampton manager, Martin. And he took the opportunity with two hands. Like I said, scoring 2 goals, getting assists, and he's been a massive part of that midfield. And we've got the new era at West Ham. Julian Lopetegui is keen to see what Flynn Downes is capable of doing in pre-season. Him alongside Freddie Potts really would give West Ham a massive boost if they decided to keep him on the books. A massive boost because both of those players are well below the current average age of West Ham squad, mid-20s, early 20s. And they really could have a bright future at West Ham. The caveat, the problem, the issue we may find is that he himself may want to go and be the main dog, main player guaranteed football. And it would be so tough to stand in his way. He's West Ham, born and bred. He loves the club throughout his whole career. He absolutely is just a phenomenal player throughout his whole career. And he just wants to do as much as he possibly can. And the problem is when you love a club and you support a club and you sign for your club and you're not getting your opportunities, you've got mixed emotions. His pass accuracy for the season, 94%. His chances created, 27%. This is without the game included yesterday. His dribbles were 64% won. He won 38 fouls throughout the season. He won 63 of his tackles. He won 153 duels throughout the season. His recoveries were 163 in the full season. And another interesting stat for you is when Flynn Downes played for Southampton, you ready for this one? They won 23 games, 70% of their games. They drew 18% and they only lost 12%. But without Flynn Downes, they won 28%, drew 22%, and lost 50% of their games. An impact player. And I wonder, have I judged him because I thought that it was a given that he was going to go, but it might not be. Under Julian Lopetegui, he could save West Ham millions. But equally, he could earn West Ham millions. So, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on Flynn Downes. Keep or sell. The decision is not yours. The decision is not mine. The decision is West Ham's. Come on, your hands.